time, I'd like to welcome Mike Gisman for the children. You may be seated.
Take me back to my boat down the river. I need to go down, I want to go down. Take me back to my boat on the river. So I see we have one new friend here. Oh, she's coming up. Hello, Ayana. So with that, let's just... Yeah. So let's just say hey to our friends at home. I hope you had a good chuckle out of that. And hello to our friends, our YouTubers. I got like 27 followers. I'm a big-time influencer. Real quickly, me and Penny, we bought a new house. We are going to get the keys on Tuesday, so with that, we will not be doing story time or 5-minute Bible lesson this week, so we'll be busy moving. Thank you. If you'd like to help with the payments, I'll take some later. So back in 2003, Penny and I celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary. So we decided to take a little vacation. So her and I and my parents, we took a cruise down the Mississippi River. And I tell you, I knew it was called the Mighty Mississippi until I saw how big it was. It was like, there were times on either side you could not see the shore. That's how big that river was. I was really amazed. But it was a really fun trip. It was overnight. We took the cruise up the river. We stayed overnight at a ski resort. This is in June, so there was no snow. We still had to take the ski lift up to the hotel. The next morning, we took a bus into Galena. That's a historical town in Illinois. It's the birthplace of President Ulysses S. Grant. And it was a really nice cruise. They had games, they kept you busy with games, they had a couple of musicians, and they did a really good job feeding us with mini meals and snacks and a whole lot like that. There was no menu, so everybody got like the same dish. I don't remember everything what we ate just like 20 years ago. But the last meal of the second day, they put out the fancy tablecloths and things, and they served up prime rib. Not bad. So we're sitting there, we're eating our meal, enjoying it. My parents and Penny, they had our own table, and we had a conversation. And then, all of a sudden, we heard applause. People started clapping. There's a couple hundred involved, they started clapping. Why do you suppose they were clapping?
Anniversary.
What's up? No. No. If you looked in the bulletin, you would say this is called the chef. That's because the chef made an appearance. He was walking around making sure everybody was enjoying their meal. So how do you suppose they knew he was the chef?
By his hat.
By his hat. What about his hat?
He was wearing a chef's hat.
Right church wrong. He was wearing all white. He had on his hat, his shirt, his smock, his belt, his pants, his shoes. Everything he wore was all white. White, white, white. I worked in many kitchens in my life. Why do you suppose chefs wear all white? Anybody know why? You got it. Because when he shows up there and you can see he's spotless, that means he runs a clean kitchen. And when he's walking around, it was like the whitest white you ever want to see. Or maybe not. That brings us to our memory verse for January of 2022. Matthew 17:2. And he, Jesus, was transfigured before them, and his face shone like the sun, and his clothes became white as light. This is a bigger part. This is part of a bigger Bible passage about something that happened that is called transfiguration. Like just love those long Bible verses. Transfiguration simply means a complete change of appearance to be more beautiful. And we're going to learn about this transfiguration right now. Pay attention at home. The Bible tells us that one day Jesus took 3 of his disciples, Peter, John, and James, and went up a mountain to pray. As Jesus prayed, his face was changed, and his clothes became a dazzling white. Suddenly, Moses and Elijah appeared and began talking to Jesus. Peter and the elders had fallen asleep, and when they woke up, they saw Jesus and the other two talking. They were amazed at that wonderful sight. What an awesome experience. Do you know what caused the face of Jesus to be changed and his clothes to become as the light? It was because they were in the presence of God. The Apostle Paul said in a letter he wrote to the church at Corinth, "For God, who said, 'Let there be light in the darkness,' has made this light shine in our hearts so we can know the glory of God that is seen in the face of Jesus Christ." You and I have many wonderful experiences in our daily walk with Jesus. Others can see that we have the love of Jesus in our hearts by seeing his reflection shining bright in us. Let's pray. Dear God, we thank you for the joy we experience in Jesus Christ. Help us to reflect that joy in our bright, shining faces. And all our children say, Amen.